Now, as you might have heard, a proposed bill before the United States Congress, the Nigeria Religious Freedom and Accountability Act 2026, reportedly references Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso in connection with allegations of severe religious freedom violations. It is a claim that, if sustained, carries not just reputational consequences, but diplomatic and political weight. But the Kwankwaso movement is pushing back forcefully, calling the allegations unfounded, misleading, and politically motivated. They argue that the adoption of Sharia-based legal systems in parts of northern Nigeria was constitutional, multi-state in scope, and subject to judicial oversight, not the project of one man. They insist Senator Kwankwaso has never been indicted for religious persecution and point to his record in public office, including cross-faith political alliances. So what exactly is in this proposed US bill? On what evidentiary basis is his name being cited? Is this a question of human rights accountability or political targeting dressed up in international language? Well, to respond to the allegations and address the growing diplomatic and political implications, I'm joined now in the studio by the National Campaign Secretary of the NNPP in 2023, Folashade Aliu, who is currently a close aide to Senator Kwankwaso. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you for having me, Charles. Thank you.
What exactly does the proposed US bill allege about Senator Kwankwaso? I mean, I wonder if you've seen it or been told about the specific language and how it refers to him.
I've seen it. Well, I've seen it. I've gone through it, reviewed it with our team, and I've captured it all over the place, on social media. But my perception of the whole thing is just, you can tell if you go through the entire document that this is simply malicious.
On what basis
do you say?
It's simply
malicious, and like in your introduction, politically motivated.
Well, that's what you say.
That's what we say.
I'm quoting what you say.
That's correct.
Right. Because the statement by the Kwankwaso movement, of which you are either directly or indirectly a part, describes the claims as unfounded. I mean, people would say, well, he would say that, wouldn't he? He's not going to come out and say, yep, that's what I'm guilty as charged. But has your team formally requested the evidentiary basis upon which his name was included in this bill?
Yeah, definitely. We are not holding our hands. We have done so much in the back end, and possibly you'll be hearing from us. This is not the end of it, because we believe that it is politically motivated. That's correct. We also believe that it's very malicious. And if you look at that...
But you don't have any evidence to support the fact that it's politically motivated.
That's what I want to tell you now.
Right, okay.
If you look at the document thoroughly, and you will think, out of everything we have heard about terrorism, kidnapping, and so on and so forth in Nigeria, and you will have just one individual named in a bill that is that serious. I mean, it's just simple 1 + 1.
But how exactly does
that's
it
what we
refer
do
to
not
him?
understand, and that's what
what I'm saying is that what is the language that is used for the benefit of our audience who may not have seen the document?
Well, the fact of the matter is that, well, this document is about how many pages? Maybe 20 pages.
Right. But I'm talking about the specific bits where it
what I'm
refers
trying to say is
right.
that if you want to, when you're looking at a bill, it has its different subsections.
Right.
That leads to where you want your prayers, what you want as the consequences of the bills that you're presenting. And that is where his name was lumped up with some other organizations.
Yes.
The organizations that they cannot even...
Allah,
and so on and so forth. I don't want to do justice to all of that.
Right. Nomadic, Fulani sort of, according to the document, nomadic Fulani sort of, if you like, terrorists.
Well, whatever you want to call them.
Militants.
Whatever they are declared to be called. But the fact of the matter that you have an individual that you have not in any shape or form aligned with these organizations, even in Nigeria. And all of a sudden, it just appeared What else can we call that if it's not malicious?
Well, let me put it another way. Critics often point to the expansion of Sharia-based legal systems in northern Nigeria. Can you state clearly that during Senator Kwankwaso's tenure, whether there were any documented cases where religious minorities were disadvantaged under his administration?
Well, I cannot point to any document that will say, look, this is a man, let me, even before I go there, before he becomes a governor or before he became a senator, he is an individual, he's a person. He's a person of character, of a good character. He's a person that is a nationalist. He is a person that, I'm a Catholic, I work directly with him. He's a running mate in 23, is a Christian and is still a Christian, is a bishop. You know, some of his employees in his home and his businesses, they were Christians. So what I'm saying is, I have not seen anything and no indication whatsoever that would tell me that this person has anything to do with religious bigotry or terrorism. I would not associate with something of such. Then let me also say, if you look at that bill, he's talking about the fact that he originated, he's the first governor that has something to do with Sharia law, which is not correct. So that is how I want to present it to you, that it is seriously malicious and it is politically motivated. A lot of things that are out there may not be exposed to, ordinary Nigerians. Okay? I understand that fact. But when you are talking about Sharia, you are talking about terrorism, there is no way his name should even come up in the first place. And the issue of Sharia, it's based on the Constitution. It's not a one-man thing. It's not a one-state thing. Everybody knows that. Even the people that really believe and was very straightforward at the beginning of the Sharia, you didn't mention that. So what else can you call it if it's not malicious?
Right. So you're suggesting, in fact, the statements that was released by the Kwankwasia movement on behalf of Senator Kwankwaso suggests that, and you're saying it now, suggests that this may be driven by rivals who want to settle personal political scores. I mean, that's quite a serious allegation. Who specifically would have the kind of influence or access to shape a U.S. congressional bill in that way?
Well, the point is, if you pay any lobbyist enough, they will do whatever they need to do. And I'm seeing the handwriting on the wall. And if let me say this. I'm not saying anybody per se, but I'm saying that if this person, distinguished Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, is not so important to them, they will not be approaching him one way or the other to be part of this and part of that. You see, in this political consultation, some people will come to us, we will go to some people. You understand? That's just the way it works. But when people become desperate, when people become anxious of what's going to happen, and the funniest thing is that some people don't look at the pattern of things. In the sense that, look at when we had the gubernatorial issue, what do you call it, in the appeal court, the tribunals and the appeal, and you don't see how God manifested himself in the appeal judgment when you have two judgments on the same paper. So look, this is going to turn out to be for our own good. You mentioned it. Yes, it's a serious matter, we know, but we know the man that we work with. We know the man, Senator Rabiu.
Yeah, well, this has gone, as they say, beyond the pale. We're not talking about, some person in Nigeria versus another person. I mean, this stuff has gone, global. It's gone, and more worryingly for you, it's gone to America, and an America under Donald Trump, which is an America that is hugely influenced by fundamentalist Christians. I mean, I would imagine, because when you talk about the fact that, these are rivals trying to settle personal scores, why him? I mean, what is it about him? He didn't come first or second or third in the last election. I mean, he only literally got one state, which is Kano State. I
But
mean,
that one state is a very
yeah,
important
but what I'm
state.
saying is that why would they, of all the people, why would it be him in isolation to everyone else whose name is mentioned in that?
That's the mystery that we will
Right.
sort out. And that's the question that we are also asking. And that's definitely the question that Nigeria should be asking.
Well,
And I'm
that's why we're
sure, just
asking.
like I told you earlier, I'm sure that we'll get to the bottom of this. Yes, it's a big deal that America is involved. But you have to understand that this thing would have been initiated from a point, from somewhere. It has Nigeria all over it. So that means that the first step, or the initiator, or the contributor, or the mischief makers,
Or the
start,
investigation carried
or
out
the
by the
investigation,
Americans
well,
revealed something
even
that
if
you're not
they,
aware of.
even if they carried out an investigation, Charles, it starts from here. And the fact of the matter is they've just even given themselves up by just isolating one individual that has nothing whatsoever to do with these groups.
Well, let me put it another way. How concerned are you that this could affect Senator Kwankwaso's domestic and international standing, especially if he remains a potential presidential contender? I mean, he's been talked about as a potential running mate to some political heavyweights. Do you expect that they'd be reluctant to choose him if this bill continues to proceed?
Well, the fact of the matter is that, just like you said, whether it has to do with the international community or even Nigeria or even Kano itself, we should be concerned that they mentioned his name. And that is why I'm here. And that's why we're doing what we are doing, to say that we will unravel the mystery. But I am telling you, if I want to tell you on a personal level, I am not concerned because I know the man, distinguished Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, and a lot of people in Nigeria, not just in Kano, not just in northern Nigeria, all over Nigeria, across West Africa, across Africa, knows this person. He's not a baby politician. He has been around. They have tried everything possible to blackmail this person, and they have not succeeded. So now, thinking that, okay, it's Donald Trump's era and Donald Trump, and I'm not saying that America is not significant in what we do. Yes, they may be significant, but what this bill indicates, it's simply and terribly, absolutely malicious.
Do you believe this is foreign interference in Nigeria's political process, or is it legitimate for international bodies to scrutinize human rights records, even if it is of opposition leaders in Nigeria?
Say, well, the way I see Nigerian politicians, especially working towards 2027, on one hand, they will tell you we're a sovereign nation. On another hand, they will tell you we're people of that deserves a lot of respect. And then on the other hand, when it suits them, they take our issues to the international community. And at the end of the day, when these things are found to be wrong, so what's going to happen? Because somebody started this. I'm sure, whether it's an investigation or something else, whatever it is, it started in Nigeria. And there's a purpose, there's some intention. So what we are looking at is, what is the intention? What are their intentions? Who are those people that are propagating this nonsense?
Beyond just arrogating allegations or against other people, I mean, people who at the moment you really can't identify. I mean, let's talk about his own record.
I'm not sure that we can identify some of them. I'm not going to name names.
Right,
but,
okay.
So
let's concentrate on what you can name, which is to point to his, I mean, you point to his 2023 Muslim-Christian ticket as evidence of inclusivity.
Yes.
Critics may say a campaign strategy, which is what it is, and you were the national secretary of his campaign, does not erase governance concerns. Beyond symbolism, I'm, running with a Christian, what concrete policies, I'm talking about policies now, he was governor of Kano State, what concrete policies demonstrate religious protection under his leadership?
Well, you see, before we talk about the religious issue, of course, you have to understand that this person is an individual, and he has some intrigue, some virtue that makes him a leader. He's somebody that is very inclusive, very accessible, very compassionate about people, and is people-centric. All of our programs, even in 2023, community and people-centric programs. Is somebody that appreciates and respects people. He appreciates that I go to my evening mass, every 6 p.m. He does his Muslim prayer. So those are the things, those are the little things, those are the little details that you see and understand that this individual understands and respects other people's religion. So I am not going to come here and say, oh, because of the campaign. No, I've been working with him for several years, at least 5 to 6 years. And I've seen him just like at different levels, as a father, as a husband, as a leader, as a brother, as a friend. I've seen him at different, stages of his life. And there's nothing pretentious about it. And the people that knows me knows that I stand for certain principles. I don't patronize people. I believe, and if you ask me what exactly what brought me to this campaign is, number one, is educational programs. He believes that if the country is, if we have, he believes that, look, if a country has educated folks, then we can make progress. And even the Bible says, for lack of knowledge, people perish. And if somebody believes in that, he believes that, healthcare is important. He believes that infrastructures will help us. He's a business person. He's not only a politician, he has businesses that are running successfully.
Sure what's that got to do with the fact that the Americans have named him?
No, what I'm saying is, he's not Haidu.
Was guilty of
It's not Haidu.
Violations of religious freedom. Let me ask you this. Will Senator Kwankwaso engage directly with US lawmakers or diplomatic channels to challenge his inclusion in that bill?
Definitely we are. And we're starting from Nigeria all the way to the US, to the Congress. We are.
You're engaging?
We are, yes.
Right. What form might that engagement take?
Well, it will be different levels of engagement. Of course, we are meeting to decide what we're going to do from home, because charity begins at home. We're not going to be running to America for every little thing or every big thing. We are going to start from Nigeria. We are going to go all the way to the US Congress. We are going to do everything possible, humanly possible for us to do to retract this nonsense. I'm sorry to say. Because you look at the fact that my own personal opinion is that, look, there's an adage in Yoruba that says that if you sell your family cheaply, you cannot buy them, no matter how much money. So if we are so desperate as politicians or haters or whatever it is, and we can get to this level, because my point to you, Charles, is that for anybody to include just one individual wrongly, and even quoting the whole essence of Sharia wrongly and the whole essence of the Métis Allah Association, it tells me that they rush into this bill. So if they do that, that tells you that they don't have good intentions. And by God's grace, we will come back and you will see, the impact of what we're going to do. And
we'll keep us posted.
We will, definitely.
To proceed. Folashade Aliu is the National Campaign Secretary of the NNPP, or was the National Campaign Secretary in 2023, and she is a close aide to Senator Kwankwaso. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.